Hey everybody, this is Melina from ScrapbookingwithME.com and Me Crafty Scrapper here on YouTube and Instagram. If you are not a follower of my Instagram account, I would love to see you over there. It is Me Crafty Scrapper. So M-E Crafty Scrapper over on Instagram. I have recently learned how to do the IGTV, so the little short videos, not the reels. Reels are the very, very, very short stuff. I've been doing those, but the IGTV thing. So I did one of that little mini album that we created about a week ago from the 6x6 paper pad. Did one of that, and it's got quite a few views for my very first IG anyway. Well, I made an IG back in 2018, and it's very amateurish, and it didn't turn out quite like I wanted it. I just hadn't deleted it off of my account. But it was of a traveler's notebook layout. So today we are making a master board. I had so much fun with that last month, and I decided we're gonna make it a once a month deal. So if you loved the master board last month, and I had quite a few people that did, and lots of comments on that master board, so I was very happy to see all of that. So I'm hoping that you enjoyed this one this month just as much or even more. So I am just laying out some larger pieces first, and then I'm making them pretty much straight on, except maybe for some curved edges here and there, but just kind of making them straight and not torn, and then I will tear on top of all of this. So I'm making a pretty good platform, you may say, and just not doing a lot of tearing here at the very beginning, so that I can tear once I get all of my good, nice base done. This is some ledger paper that I really like, that came in one of the E-Club kits, I do believe. I'm going to cut this off. I'm off camera cutting this. It's nothing that you have to see. It's just cutting bits and pieces like I want them. And I think I'm going to go under here and let this piece go over here. And then let's see here. I like this. Maybe take off the top wording. And add that right down here. I'm so used to tearing, I'm trying my best to do so now. I love to tear. Love to tear it all up. Let's see. Let's get a little bit bolder of a piece. Let's do this one here, maybe. I like that. And then maybe we can do these flowers right here. Let's see here. I have started with a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. This is a little piece of that watercolor paper that I did in a video a few back. I'm going to cut this off just a little bit. Get me a little bit smaller of a piece. over to the side here. Oh, I like that. So I got a little bit of bold right there, and then the rest is kind of neutral. And this one will be cut up this month. I made that one last month. It was my very first one, and I just did not have the heart to cut it up. So what I'm going to do is start inking my edges, and I'm going to use my Vintage Photo Oxide. And we have the new Dome foams in the shop now. They had been out of stock forever and a day, and so we are very glad to have those back in the shop. For anybody that has never heard of a master board, it's a scrap busting kind of project. So you're getting just bits and pieces of all kinds of stuff here and there, and you're putting them together on a board. You can just put it on copy paper, you can put it on cardstock, you can put it in magazines, on magazine pages, in old books. It really doesn't matter where you do it, how you do it. Now, you'll have some that will try to tell you how you're supposed to do it, but you do how you like. And you can, if you're into newspaper clippings and magazine clippings, fussy cutting magazine images out, that would be cute on a master board. But for anyone that watched last month's, and I will link it in the description box below so that you can go back and see that one if you didn't watch last month's masterboard series, episode 1. You can do so. Now, I'm trying to lay everything back the way I had it, the way I want it down. And I'm just going to finish inking the edges of all the little pieces. Now, some people do a masterboard and they do not ink edges at all. It's totally up to you. It's your preference, whatever you would like to do. I love inked edges. So, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ink all of my edges, and then I'll show you how I glue all of this down and what we're going to do with it once it's all glued down. All right, so I have all of my edges inked, and I am going to put down, I'm going to reach up here and get my Collage pauge, because I will need that. And then I will also need my little spreader, and I don't know exactly where that is, so I am just going to put some here. I have a little silicone spreader somewhere. I will find it eventually. I'm going to put Collage pauge down on the back of this. Now, you can use glue stick. I used glue stick on the first one, and it did not adhere like I wanted it to. So I'm just going to start with Collage pauge, and I will end with Collage pauge when I get everything set how I want it, and then to seal it up. And this is the matte Collage pauge. So it does dry a matte finish, and it is very, very messy. So if you're not into making messes, Collage pauge is probably not for you. But if you're going to do any kind of collaging, most of the time you're going to get it everywhere once you start adhering. So I'm going to scooch this over, make sure that this will cover everything where I do have it scooched, and then put that down. And then I'll do the same thing here. Get this covered really good. Man, my spreader's a lot better. Or a paintbrush if you've got a paintbrush. And I'm looking up there, I don't have a thick enough paintbrush right at my fingertips to do. So I'll just keep using my Reeve spreader here. All right, and then your distress ink that you use, of course, that's going to come off and smear. It is just a fact with this kind of project. And if you don't like the inking around there, that causes, of course, you don't have to ink your edges, but once you get down to it and you collage this down, I'm even on this one, I'm thinking about, now we'll see when I get to the end, I'm thinking about doing a little bit of like a tint on the finished project to kind of age it some more. So that's just going to give me even more smears and stuff. And I like that kind of stuff just because I like it grungy looking. And I'm really just laying down my pieces and kind of overlapping them before I go on to the next piece. So just overlap it and then make sure that you've got enough space, how you've got everything lined up to cover your space below or above, whichever way you are working that. So this piece will not need much collage pauge at all. Just make sure you get it all the way to the edge, and it's okay to get the collage pauge on top of everything because you're going to, well, I'm going to seal mine with collage pauge, so it's fine to get it on top of everything too. Now I had some that last time that said, oh, I use this and oh, I use that, and this works so much better than what you did, and that's okay. We all craft differently, and I am just loving experimenting with all kinds of stuff. So if I don't do my masterboard exactly like you do yours, it's fine. No worries. No worries at all. We will just do what we love. I like that just like that. So I'm going to put some down here. That's probably the easier way. I know somebody was yelling at the TV that they're watching or their phone or whatever. Why don't you put it on the platform, on your base piece instead of the pieces? Well, here you go. I'm putting it on the base piece. And I should have my sticky mat, my non-stick mat, I should say, underneath this. But of course, I didn't grab it off of the dining room table before I started this video. So I don't have it with me. So there is that piece. And let's go ahead and put down this piece. And I'm going to overlap it. There. That collage pauge is slippy slidey. Okay, so I went ahead and spread all of that out and went and got my mat so that I could get as messy as I want as far as on top of this mat, and I won't have to worry about it. So I'm just kind of laying it out some where it's warped up a little bit, just to flatten it out a little bit. And I did some organizing yesterday in my scrapbook room, and look at this little box of gems. I love this. I've got washi tape in the fronts there, and then I've got those torn paper flowers that we made in Scrapbusters last week. I've got those in those 3 slots, and then these little vellum and paper things, little booklets. I've got them torn apart and put in those. I've got buttons in here. Those are wood buttons. And then a few butterfly elements that I had laying around. More washi there. And then these little stamped, they're kind of vintage looking, they're stickers. And we got them from an overseas supplier in the shop, and they went like crazy. So there are none left in the shop, and we are trying to get more in. So I apologize for that, but these would look wonderful on this masterboard. I love how these look. I haven't taken the backs off, but I'm thinking that one there, and maybe this one here. I like how that's patchwork looking. I like that. And then maybe that one there. Maybe, I don't know, we might change it to there. Ooh, that's pretty. Change it to there. Ooh, I like that. And then up here, I didn't get all the way to the very tip top, and I'm thinking I'm going to add some washi to the top there. I don't know how in the world that's going to work. I'm going to take these off real quick and get the backs off, and then I got to ink that. But it's already got a sticky back to it, but I'm thinking I need to put a little bit of glue anyway, just because this is still a damp surface. So I'm just putting some liquid glue down. I'm gonna put it out off the edge a little bit, and then I'll come back and trim that. Go all the way to the edge there, and make sure I go all the way to the top here, because that's what I'm trying to take care of, is that white part at the top from the base showing through. Okay, and then I think I might just turn that over onto the back. Oh, I like that. All right, and then just tear that. Everything's sticking to me. Fold it over. I like that quite a lot. Okay, and then we will seal over the top of that too. I've got this cardstock that's not wanting to play nice. And it is a thick piece of cardstock. I guess I should have thought a little more about using that thick of a piece of cardstock right there, but it's already down now, and I like it. It's pretty, so we're gonna make it work somehow. There we go. All right, and then this is just a little cut apart from a collection I have in my stash that I had cut a few other pieces apart from. There. And then let's get the backs off of these, which can be a little troublesome, but if you will, I had someone say, just flick it back and forth, and then it kind of separates from itself. And that is true, because look at there. Just flicked it back and forth, and it come away from itself. So I think this one here And then I'll do some collage pauge over the top of that one. And then flick it back on itself and see if it, yep, it is separating. I just got to get my nail in the right spot to get that off. And there we go. Not hard at all. Okay, this one here, it says Eliza Jane. It reminds me of that country song by, who is it? Vince Gill. Yep. My little Eliza Jane. Okay, and then this one kind of over the top here, but do I want to, I think I want to slant it. I don't want to do it straight up and down. So let's slant it over this way. And I didn't ink the edges though. They've got some really cool distress look to them already. So I just left them as is. Now, I'm thinking that I want to add a little bit of napkin to these. And I think maybe I will just, I've already taken the back off of this napkin. And I'm thinking I'm just going to tear it like this. These flowers are so pretty that are on this, and the little butterflies. Course, I love me some butterflies. And I'm thinking I might do that there. So let's place it where I want it. And then I'm going to cut off this excess before I put on the collage pauge. And then that way I don't have to trim right at all that stickiness. Okay, there. And when we ink around all the edges, that'll all get placed and bent back how it needs to be. So let's do a little gloopity gloop back here and spread that out. And then place on our napkin. I love how the napkin just kind of blends right in to the whole project. And it's almost like you can't even see the napkin. It's like you have stamped that on. And then while I was doing that, I saw that this piece of cardstock is not playing nice either. So we'll put a little bit more back behind that. And go spread, spread, spread. Oh yeah, that's going to be pretty once it dries. All that dries around that. And then let's adhere this one down over here. I'm just going to spread it around like this. Get it out to all the edges. And then get it where I want it. And then more over the top. And this is cardstock too, so it'll need a good coating. Okay, then I think I might add a little more of this napkin in a few little places. I love that. Let's see, let's do this one flower maybe over here in the corner somewhere. So let's tear that. and then maybe there. I like that. So let's get a little more schmooze right there. I love that. Very pretty. All right, and then we can kind of fold that backwards and tear it off if need be. So let's go ahead and go over the tops of these. And then I'm thinking that I want to do a little bit of tinting on this. And I'm going to do, I think I saw Mom do this not too long ago, but there's plenty of YouTubers that do it too, not just she and I. I'm going to put my Collage pauge down here. I'm going to do 3 little puddles. And I am going to do some Victorian velvet. I'm just going to smash my stamp down there. That's Victorian velvet. I'm just going to run it over and mix that around. So you've got your own little tinted glue that you're going to get into this. And then let's see, let's do what other color, because I don't want it all to be brown because there's enough brown on there. So let's see, what other color do we want to mix in there? Let's do some peacock feathers. Ooh, I'm loving that. Okay, so the Victorian velvet was a regular ink pad. This one is an oxide ink pad. Oh gracious, look at that nice vivid color. That's pretty. That is very pretty. I love that. Gracious, gracious. But for anybody that has been watching me for a hot minute, you know that that is like my favorite color ever. All right, and then let's do, what other oxide have I got over here? Let's do some frayed burlap. Now, this is a brown, but it's more of a greeny brown than it is like brown. So, can't even see it on my mat there. I'm going to clean this off. I'm going to go over here into this frayed burlap. Oh, I like that too. So we're just getting all mixy-messy. And I love it. Okay, so I'm just going to get a good scrape of it. And put it down in different places on my board. Okay, and then go to the next one and get a good scrape and just put it in different places than where I put the frayed burlap. I really like that color. Pretty. And then I just have a little bit of the Victorian velvet, so we won't go too crazy with that one. Let's see, maybe here. And here. There we go. All right, let's see what this looks like after we spread it out. Okay, I went and borrowed a paintbrush from Bethany's room, and we are going to get that all spread out and see what our final result looks like. I like that it's just going to give maybe a little tint to the paper. We shall see, won't we? Oh, I like that. Yep. I love that tint. So I'm just going in and blending in the Victorian Velvet first. And then I'll just kind of semi-wipe off my brush. Of course, my camera stopped right as I was blending in some of this peacock feather color. Of course. All right, so there is that. I need to hurry up because it's getting dry. Okay, and then the frayed burlap. Oh, that's pretty. Which I'm a vintagey brown girl anyway, so I love that. Love that vintage brown. All right, and then that one I think needs a little bit of water sprayed on so that I can get it a little more blended in. Oh well, we're gonna have a nice little shape up there from where that got too dry. Oh well, it is all right. All right, I think I want to put just a little more blue in here, and can't really see a lot of the Victorian Velvet anymore. I might do just another little zhuzh of that. Let's do it right there. And see if we can't get just a little more of that going. Oh yeah. Pretty, 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 pretty. Oh, that is very pretty. I love that. Okay. Maybe we can cover up that just a little bit with that Victorian Velvet. I likey. Get some of this blue gone down here with that. Go over the napkin really good. I love how that napkin is blended in over there. Very pretty. And then let's go over that blue flower a little bit more there. And then on some of the places where I don't want it as dark, I'm just going to wet my dirty rag. And I'm going to go over some of these little sections and kind of clean off the color. Oh, pretty. Love it. All right. Let's go down here. Kind of pat off the color off of the leaf there. I like it. Let's get just a little more water here. Okay. Off of this flower, clean that off some. Oh, I love that. And then clean off here. Yes. And maybe dab right there. And I think I'm going to dab off there. Let's see if we can dab off a little bit of that. Doubt it very seriously, because it got stuck there really good. All right, so then I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to try to get off most of this so that I can just do a little bit more sealing on it. And then we just got to let it dry. Alright, so I'm going to get my heat gun and I'm going to help this out just a little bit once I get this excess Collage pauge off. I'm going to let my heat tool help the drying process a little bit. Going really easy around that napkin because it is wanting to come up. All right, and I've got to clean out Bethany's paintbrush before she sees what I've been spreading with it. Oh, babe. All right, I got all of the kind of streaky looking places. I just cleaned those up a little bit so I don't have too much Collage pauge in one little spot. Cleaned up all that, and now I will help it dry just a little bit. All right, this is still quite tacky in a lot of places, but I wanted to show you. Look at that napkin, how that has blended in so well with that, and it looks like there was something stamped on top of that little Tim Holtz paper, scrap piece of paper. It's just crazy. Now that is still drying. It's still got a good clump of that matte Collage pauge on it, but I'm going to go around all of my edges with my vintage photo. It's dry enough on the edges that I can go ahead and do that because I want that to get good and dry along with the whole project. And then I think I want to dirty a little bit right there and maybe right in there. Ooh, I like how that looks. The oxide pad really works well doing that. Yep. And I'm not splattering. I did a lot of splattering the last time with the the spritz sprays. Did a lot of that last time, but I think I'm going to wait to do any of that when I do my little finished projects from this. I like how that looks to dirty it up. It's going on the creases, like anything that's kind of creased up. Oh yeah, look at that. I like that. Cute. All right, I think I got a crease here. Let's see what we can get to look. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Okay, so I think that's all of the dirtying up I want to do to it. And I am going to go wash out Bethany's paintbrush and wash out my yucky rag and let this dry, and then we will be back and I will show you how I'm going to cut it up and what the finished projects all look like from this masterboard for August. All right, so here it is, all dry and good and stiff. Actually, I am finishing this video the day after I started it, just because I gave it plenty of time to dry, and it was supper time when I finished that last part that you just saw. So I finished up supper and ate with my family and just didn't come back to my craft room last night. So I'm finishing this the morning after. And fall allergies have arrived here in Alabama. My nose is all stuffy, but it's all allergies all the time. It seems like here in Alabama. So I feel fine. It's just that my head's all stuffy and I have a headache. And Aaron J is the same way. Both he and I are the allergy people in the house. Usually Brandon and Bethany don't ever get anything like this. So anyways, if you hear the stuffiness and me clearing my throat, that's what it is. I have allergies. Big time hay fever. This turned out even more beautiful than I thought it was going to. I love how the tinted Collage pauge did on the edges here. You can see that Victorian velvet. You can see the peacock feathers. You can see the frayed burlap. It's just beautiful little elements. Now, I am not making this month a journal cover like I told you I was going to make last month. But look, it would make a beautiful journal cover. But we are not doing that with this one. Look at the back. Because I was thinking, oh, I'm going to have to cover all of the things that I make with this with tea-dyed paper, tea-stained paper. And I probably will cover some of them, but whatever I cut out here, not. Look at all of that. I love that. So that's not going to get covered up. So I'm glad I used white cardstock as my base so that I can just go ahead and use that background with whatever I use. And I can just distress it and vintage it up a little bit so it's not stark white. But I have decided, instead of trying to figure out, ooh, I really like that, or ooh, I really like this, or let's make a shape here, I'm just going to go right down the middle. So we have an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock as our base. So I'm just going to go right down the middle. And I am going to trim it long ways. And then I'm going to trim out tags. So this way, I think I've already made the mark. Yes, I have. I made the mark here. I'm going to cut down the middle long ways at 4 1/4. So there's my mark for that. And then for each tag shape, I'm going to cut at 2 3/16 mark. And that's going to get me 5 little narrow tags. So I'm going to have tags that are this tall and about this wide. So I'm going to get little bitty narrow tags out of this, but I'm going to get 10 of them from this one sheet. So let's go ahead and get this cut down the center. And I am going to cut starting on the back. I'm gonna try my best not to turn it over, because I know if I do and I see what I'm cutting in the middle of or cutting off or something on that other side, I'm going to try to talk myself out of what I'm doing. So here we go, down the middle at the 4 1/4 mark. No looking back, no turning back. It's done. Now I will probably have to use my scissors. I don't want to turn it over, so I'm using my scissors, and I'm just going to, there we go, get those spots that are not wanting to come apart. Okay, so got that cut. Now I will get my guillotine trimmer out, and that's gonna help me a lot with getting those cuts made and all the way through. Okay, so I have marks here of where I'm going to cut this. Let's see. I want to make the mark on both sheets and just cut one sheet at a time. So I've got these marks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. All right, so I'm going to make those 2 1/16 marks. No, 2 3/16 marks on this side also. Sorry about that. 3/16. Then I'm just going over, just because this is easier for me. 2 3/16. And then 2 3/16. And then 2 3/16. All right, so there are my marks I'm going to use for cutting these. I'm not turning it over. All right, so there's my first mark, and I want to get it pretty spot on because I want to get, oh yeah, it was right on it, because I want to get even looking tags. All right. No turning back. No regrets. It's all going to be good. That one was a little bit wider than what it should have been. Oh, that one's a little hard to get through. We'll see in a minute what that was. Okay. I just love the element of surprise. Oh, that one was a little rough to get through, so we'll see, we'll see. Okay. And then here, whoop, I better get it straight up top, huh? Or I will have some wonky looking tags. Oh, wow, that was very hard to get through. Oh, man. Okay, you ready for the reveal, just like I am? Let's see what our little tag shapes look like and what needs to be reinforced, glued down. Oh, gracious. Okay. All right, so this was over here. Okay. All right, look. Oh, goodness. I'm loving this already. Okay, that one got cut. Those two got cut wonky. So I'll have to trim those up. Just because it's so thick. They got cut wonky. All right. There's that. Oh, look. Okay, so that trimmed out almost like perfectly. Yeah, look at that. Cute. Okay, there's that. And that. Okay, look. There are the 4 pieces of that one square that we had put on there. That's cute. I like that. And except for having these 2 wonky bits right here, as far as cuts, they just cut weird for some reason. Well, just because it's so thick. It is, because it's so thick. All right, I'm going to make my tag shapes at the tops. I'm going to trim this out. So these 2 will be skinnier than all the rest. All right, I'm going to do the large angle and just make sure that I'm doing the top that I want, whichever side I'm wanting as the top. Cute. All right, and that's got that washi at the top of it. Beautiful. All right, now let's look at the backs of these and see which one. Oh, look at that. I turned over the one that I was looking for. The one that had all of that peacock feathers on the side of it. I love that. There's the two right there beside each other. There's one with a little bit of it on it. I love that. Too pretty. All right. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm not going to punch holes for the tops for tags. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to ink all of them with my vintage photo oxide. And then I have this, I don't know, is this muslin material, or I don't know what this is. Somebody with fabric knowledge, let me know. But I'm going to cut these little strips of this. It's like backing for, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to cut these little strips like this, and I'm going to sew them. But, I mean, I'm going to put a little dot of glue just to hold them. And then maybe on some of them, I will do a little seam binding piece with maybe, oh yeah, that's going to look good. Do it like this. A little piece of seam binding and a little piece of crochet thread. Like so. Ooh, I like that. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do for the toppers. And I'm going to cut just a little bit longer of a piece than this for all of them. So this is, okay, I'm going to cut 2-inch little strips. So this is 1 inch wide by 2 inches long. Thereabouts. It's not exactly. All right, I have got my fabric pieces cut. I've got my seam binding for 3 of them along with the crochet thread. And what I'm thinking is like so, and then fold it over so there's a loop like that. Something to that effect. Maybe that off to the side. I really like how that looks. And then this fabric, having it up tall with the loop also. And then I'm going to sew that. And let's go ahead and ink all of these with the vintage photo oxide. Okay, so here they all are. I have their little pulls sewn on, and they're perfectly grungy, imperfect little tags with their fabric toppers on. I love them all. I want to give them just a little brighter of a look, so I'm getting my white spray and just I'm gonna dabble on some little spritzes of white to give them a little extra pizzazz. This is almost gone, and we have the Tim Holtz white ordered. It is just on back order, and they are not sending out anything. So we have that on order to add to the shop, but it just has not come yet. We're just waiting on them. I think I'll just add a little bit to that last one, not too much. And then I will let this white paint, white spritz, dry. And then I will show you some still shots of all the tags up close and personal when they are completely dry. But like this one, I'll show you real quickly. The paint is still drying, and it will dry like an opaque white. So it won't be as stark white as it's showing here. But I love these tags. I love mixed media. And I hope you do too, because mixed media and masterboards will continue to be videos on my channel, because I love making masterboards and I love doing mixed media. And I'm getting the hang of sewing. I'm still not a great seamstress by any stretch of the imagination, but I do like sewing some now, whereas I used to not do any kind of sewing at all. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye, y'all.